Hello, everybody. Did you all know that many couples get stuck in the first few stages of the five stages of a thriving relationship that ultimately keeps their relationship stuck and stagnated, that keeps their relationship in survival mode as opposed to a thriving mode? Let's talk about that today, okay? So, there are five stages to a thriving relationship, okay? And today I really only want to get into the first three stages because if a couple can come out of those first three stages, the other two stages won't be as hard, even though you would have to maintain this, in all stages of a relationship, right? So what is the first stage of a thriving relationship? The first stage is the romance stage, right? All couples enter a relationship through the romance stage, right? And so this particular stage, it can last anywhere from 2 months to 2 years, okay? And I tell you, especially if you guys are really digging each other and you have hopes of making it last forever, this stage can be so fun, right? Because you're spending a whole lot of time together. You're going out on dates, you're going out to dinner, you're talking on the telephone a whole lot, right? And so in this particular stage, what couples tend to do is that sometimes they're really more forgiving, they give more passes, right? If your partner do something that kind of rubs you the wrong way, you may have a tendency to look the other way. You'll grin and bear it. You're giving more passes, right? Because this is the stage that I want to progress, right? I want to go to the next stage. Couples cannot stay in the romance stage, right? It is inevitable that you will go to the next stage of a thriving relationship. And what is that stage? The next stage, the second stage, is the power struggle stage. Oh my God. And what is that? That's exactly what it sounds like. We're struggling for power. You want it your way, they want it their way. You say yes, they say no, right? And so you're bumping heads, you're bumping heads, you'll come to an impasse, right? And so this particular stage, people, you really have to be very, very careful in the power struggle stage. And the reason why I'm saying that, because if you don't learn how to come together on one accord, you can struggle for power for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. Some couples never come out of the power struggle stage. Some couples relationship just fizzle out and die because we haven't learned that it's better to be reconciled than it is to be right. No, nobody can be right all the time, right? And so if you don't learn how to be, reconciled as opposed to being right, what happens in that relationship is that again it'll fizzle out, and then couples begin to learn how to settle, and couples begin to learn how to function in dysfunction. And so, what you need to do to be able to come out of the power struggle stage, you have to have what I call a wit attitude. And what is that? That's an attitude that says that, listen, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to have a whatever it takes attitude so that I can come to the next level of the five stages of a thriving relationship. And so, in order to come out of the power struggle, people, and go into the commitment stage, which is the third level of a thriving relationship, we have to be willing to make a commitment. That's what a lot of relationships are missing today. We have to be willing to make a commitment. We have to learn that, listen, there are many times that we got to stop looking for our marriages and looking for our relationships to make us happy and do what it takes to make the relationship and the marriage happy. We have to make a commitment. And so, in the commitment stage, I'm not going to go on long, but in the commitment stage, there are two powerful, powerful questions that every couple have to ask themselves if they're going to make a commitment. And did you all hear what I said? I didn't say point your finger at your mate. I said that each couple, each individual, I should say, have to ask themselves two powerful questions in order for them to move into that commitment stage or move to the next stage, right? And that question, the first question is this. You have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and you have to ask yourself, what does this relationship needs from me in order to grow? I didn't say what it needs from your couple, your mate, but what does this relationship needs from me in order to grow? And sometimes to be able to answer that question in all honesty, we really have to be willing to look ourselves in the mirror. We have to be willing to have some self-awareness and do a self-assessment on ourselves. And so that's the first question that the individual must ask themselves. What does this relationship need from me in order to grow? And the second question that each person needs to ask themselves is this. What have I been doing that has been contributing to what has not been working? What am I doing? What am I doing? Am I not being forgiven? Am I, holding a grudge for too long? Am I giving the silent treatment? Am I, expecting my partner to carry this whole relationship without me being accountable and responsible? What am I doing that's keeping this relationship that's stuck and stagnated? That's powerful, right? And if a couple, can ask themselves on an individual basis those two powerful questions, you are able to move to the fourth stage of a thriving relationship, okay? And so I'm going to stop right there for today. But if you want your relationships to stop surviving, to stop being in survival mode, if you want that relationship to begin to thrive, you have to be willing to come out of the romance stage, to come out of the power struggle stage, and get into that commitment stage where I'm willing to make a firm commitment, right? That's it for today, you guys. This is Coach Connor, and I want you all to know at the end of the day, listen, it takes two. Bye-bye.